What's up, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down what's happening with SPY, Tesla, Nvidia, the QQQ, and a couple of other tickers. I'm going to break down what's happening with the overall market moving forward, especially as we have new factors and how things are looking, in my opinion, with these charts. But just know that I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out my Moomoo link. If you deposit $100, you're guaranteed 5 free stocks. If you deposit $1,000, you're guaranteed 15 in total, not to mention 8.1% APY on invested cash. The offer's in just one day, then it's tomorrow, so check it out before they run out. Anyways, let's talk about what's happening with the markets. So, as far as the market's going, okay, I said in the morning I was expecting a bit of a dip, and that dip did come. We did dump all the way down to 584 a share. That's a pretty big move down. We're down like quite a bit from where we were on Friday. And then what happened was as time went on, the buyers came back and now they're trying to defend SPY. So we're going to be looking for our resistance at that 590 area, a little bit below that. Then we have 591.8 as our next resistance. And we'll have to see if we reject off one of those levels or not. I do think that SPY could attempt to push a bit more, but I do want to warn you to be very careful because we still technically have this head and shoulders like structure. So there's like a left shoulder here, there's a head, and there's a right shoulder. If they keep buying SPY up and we start breaking past these highs up here, then yes, this thing could start running and then we could invalidate this. But we haven't done that quite yet. This is a very small move up compared to how much downside we've had. So yes, we could get close to 590. It's possible, if not all the way up to about the 592 area. It's always a possibility, but there's no guarantee we just keep going and going and going. Could just be a small move up before we get a rejection. So watch SPY try to push a little higher from here to see how we end up reacting to the 590 area. Do we get some kind of rejection around 592 near the 200 EMA or not? I'll be watching that very, very closely. I do want to say that there's still a head and shoulders, so the odds do favor us kind of like pushing higher than eventually getting a rejection and continuing to dip lower. But it's not a guarantee until we see the reaction we get. So just keep that in mind, and we'll see what kind of move we end up getting from here. For the overall structure of ES, we have a left shoulder here. We have a head, then we have a right shoulder. We could attempt to push up towards 5980, if not 6000. We could be trying to push in that range, but then we'll see if we get a rejection off that or not. We also have 5925 as our main support, not to mention the 5880 area. So there's the head and shoulders. We could try to push higher for 59.80. We'll see if we get some kind of rejection on off of that. And this could ultimately lead to a lot more downsides. Just watch that very closely. For Nvidia, we also have these rejections that are forming here. I do want to say that Nvidia is trying to get bought back up now. We did dip quite a bit back down to about 134, but we held support, so we held 134. So we're going to be looking for a move back up towards about just under 140. If we break 142, then this could actually turn bullish. And then there is like an inverse head and shoulders setup technically on Nvidia. So if 142 breaks, we turn bullish. We're looking for 146. If we come short of 142, if we hit like 140, be careful because we could reject there instead and start dipping back down. So look for an attempt to get to 140. Between 140 and 142, do we get a big rejection there and start dumping back down to form a inverse cup and handle, or do we break 142 and remain a lot more bullish? It could go either way depending on some factors. So just be very, very mindful of that. For others out there, we have Tesla. Tesla dipped quite a bit all the way down to about 415 only to get bought back up. So we did dump more exactly as you predicted, but the thing is there are buyers defending it. So we're going to be looking for essentially 425. If we break 425, we could turn up for about 430. And if we reject off 425, we could be dipping back down to about 420. So watch to see what kind of move we get here. And overall, just don't forget that we're technically making lower highs. So we had this high up here. We came down, made a lower high, and we'll just have to see what the reaction is. So give this the time it needs as 420 could be retested. So as far as Tesla goes, we could attempt to get back up to 425, but if we can't reclaim at least 431, even if we push to 425, we could still reject and still start dumping as we're making lower highs. So look for a push up if we do try to go a little higher, but then ultimately it could lead to more downside back down to 420 or below. So keep that in mind. Tesla's a little bit weak compared to the markets. NQ, same thing. We are making lower highs. We could attempt to get back up to 21,500, if not 21,564. And then if we reject here, we'll be turning it right back down towards 21,400. So with the lower highs being made, I just want to make it very clear that we're technically showing some weakness, and ultimately we are on a bit of a downtrend. We are attempting a small rebound here, so I could see us get close to about 21,564. But then even if we do push higher, this could still reject, so just keep that in mind. For the QQQ, we dumped to my target of 511. We came very close to it, and then we got bought back up. So this could attempt to get back up closer to like the 520 area. But even if we do get bought back up, we got to reclaim at least 524 to turn back up. This is had a high here, came down, made a lower high, came down, made a lower high. So this could push higher for like close to 520, then reject and start dipping. Just keep that in mind. For Aapl, we're on a bit of a downtrend. We have this resistance near 254. We have support at 252. If we lose 252, we could be dumping a lot lower towards 250. Look for a small rebound here off like the 254 area, then we could start dipping lower after that. So give this the time it needs. For Palantir is on a bit of a downtrend right over here. We have this resistance around this 80 area. We have support at 77. We could reject off 80 and start dumping back down to 77. We're on technically a downtrend, so this could lead to a little bit more downside. For the IWM Russell 2000, we are stuck in the middle. We're getting bought back up right here at support, very close to about 217. We did call out 217, came a little bit short of hitting that, hit 218 instead. We might retest 222. It's possible we push a little bit higher, but then this could still reject as it's looking lackluster compared to SPY and the others, so it's technically on a downtrend. For others out there, we have Coinbase looking weaker. We could be dipping closer to about 245 if we can't hold support. So still looks kind of weak here. Watch to see if we could hold 250. Otherwise, we dump a lot more. Amazon's looking weak. We need to try to get back above at least 222, then 224.5. Otherwise, this is favoring downside for 220 or below. So it could be dipping below 220. Meta has an inverse cup and handle. So there's this, a cup over here. Then we have this handle. We need to try to get and hold above at least 589. If that does not hold, we could be dumping all the way down to about 584. For Microsoft, we're on a bit of a downtrend here. We're making lower highs. If you guys look at this for the last couple of weeks, we are technically bearish. We have to try to reclaim 430. Otherwise, we favor a move back down to 422 and 420. Google also has some weakness. There's technically a head and shoulders on it. If it reclaims 196, it could try to turn back up. But if it can't do that, it's going to be favoring 190 or below. So watch and see how this ends up doing. Anyways, I just want to thank you all so much for listening. SPY is looking a little bit weaker. If you look at the downtrend, it's still continuing. We could try to get back up to about the 590 area or so, and then we'll have to see how it goes from here. I'm trying to warn you all that even if we do push higher, right, just be careful because there's still technically a large head and shoulders, and a move to the upside could still lead to a big rejection later on. So I just want to give you guys a warning about that. For now, I am seeing buyers stepping in, so they're going to try to push this a little higher, but just be careful. There's still that risk of a big rejection later on. So look for 590 on SPY, then 592 as our resistances. Look for a small push, and we'll see if we get that rejection. Thank you for listening, and peace out.